part 2. I thought I would break it up so that we could digest it, all right? So let's move forward from part 1. I was speaking that the officials said that Sarah Wandra maintained that she did not kill the boy and said that the Most High God already told me who did it. She reportedly told police, "Oh, wow, the Most High God just told me that Stacy, her husband Stacy, was the one who killed him and buried him in the yard of the neighbor's house." So let's stop. She says, "Oh, wow. In other words, it's just coming to me. It's coming to me that Stacy, God told me that Stacy did it." But when asked later to show police where the boy was buried, according to the affidavit, she told police of a spot near the entry of her residence and said Stacy had buried him in the backyard by the shed. So does she tell the police, "Oh, the Most High God has told me where he's buried him too"? But then listen to this. Police said by that point, they'd begun hand digging a portion of the Wandrous yard based on information from who? Received by Stacy. Y'all, the husband gave them the information and Stacy had not been arrested or charged by Monday afternoon. It wasn't clear when or why police had spoken with Stacy Wandra. And to me, this is just theory, this is just common sense to me. Somebody called in a tip. And it's just my view that she confessed this to Stacy and he called in the tip. And when they came over there, they had to have probable cause to go in there and arrest her. This is what I think has happened. She tried to put it off on Stacy, her husband, by first saying that God told her that Stacy had done it. But then she says this, listen to this. Sarah Wandra was arrested and told police, "God just told me that Stacy was the one who did it," adding that she knew the body was in the neighbor's yard because that's what Stacy just told me. She then corrected herself and said that's what God told her, according to the affidavit. So what I'm trying to say is that she first says that God told her that Stacy had done it. Then she says Stacy told her that he had done it. But Stacy's gone to police, spoken to the police, has not been arrested or charged by the police. She must have told him. She must have told him. And when she told him, he must have went to police immediately because she initially gave them a spot in the yard that was not where her husband Stacy said it was. She allegedly reiterated to police that she had nothing to do with Michael's disappearance. She said her husband buried Michael in the backyard by the shed, but wasn't the one who actually harmed the boy. Now stop. She initially tells them that the Almighty High God has told her that her husband Stacy killed the boy. Now she's saying that he didn't kill the boy. She said instead that a man identified only as Adrian has been the one that done it, and he was scared to tell anybody. And by the way, I'm just looking at you. The theory that I have to go with is that she initially was dumbfounded when they came through that front door. She had no idea that her husband Stacy had called them to say, "You know what? She's done told me this," because they haven't charged him. And then she says the high God told her that Stacy killed him. Then she turns around and says he didn't kill him, that some guy named Adrian killed him. The bottom line is this woman killed that child. How she killed that child, I don't know. She is the one that murdered that child. That is my opinion. That is my theory. So, well, they haven't found that child yet. And perhaps, now this is just a theory, that initially when she did this, she did bury the child. And maybe later on, it's been over a year, she moved that body again. If they don't find the child, okay, that they will be able to have a dog alert on it. She would not be, and somebody might say, well, KJ, if she murdered him, why ain't they charging her with it yet? Why are they only giving her felony, tampering or whatever, doing that? Why ain't they charging her with murder? Why haven't they arrested this Stacy? Well, it's my view that they're waiting to get that body, and then they're going to go from there. If she says that her husband Stacy did it, and they believed that, then they would have arrested him yesterday. But it had to be that Stacy called them and told them that she told him that this body was there. Now, she can go on to say that someone else named Adrian killed the child and was afraid of getting in trouble. But the bottom line is it's been over a year. And they're going to have to put the pieces together. And again, this goes down to, why would they arrest her and not her husband if she's saying he's the one that murdered the child? Please leave your comments on it. Please read the East Idaho News article that I just read to you again and kind of let it sink in and leave your comments. But this goes a little bit further than this unrelated case. This goes into what I was sharing with y'all in part one, that this person had approached me in comments on this woman's arraignment and said, well, just because, you can't convict somebody just because you think she looks guilty. You have to see it through or whatever, this or that. And I got to thinking, I thought, well, what about Chad and Lori? What about before Lori was arrested, when she was arrested, and when Chad got arrested? So I thought, well, this is a good road to go down. Let's look at it. Considering that John Pryor has saying that they have diametrically different cases, Lori and Chad, don't you know? So the way that I want to present this, and I hope you'll leave your comments on all of this, we look back on the timeline. We know that on January 25th of 2020, the Kauai Police Department serves Lori with a notice stating she must produce JJ and Tylee to the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare or the Rexburg Police Department within 5 days. Okay, that was January 25th of 2020. Okay, and she's married to Chad, and they're in Hawaii. And this whole Chad didn't know what was going on. When she got that summons, what was she telling Chad if he had no idea? He had an idea. He knew what was going on. And even if he didn't, even if she was saying, I've got him hid out because the government's trying to bully me, you think this man is just going to keep going along with her? Then you've got January 26th, the day after that. We remember it. Nate Eaton talks about, where are the kids, Lori? Where are the kids? And Chad's right there. If this man wanted to clear up anything, if this man was confused, if he could not understand what was going on, he could have sought counsel. He could have talked to anybody saying, we don't know what's going on. And then January 30th, Lori misses her 5 p.m. deadline to produce JJ and Tylee, and Kay holds a news conference expressing her disappointment. And from the time she served, Lori is served, until she misses the deadline, you got to know that she's with Chad and they're talking about what they're going to do. Lori is just completely and totally lying to Chad. I mean, Alex is long gone now. And so if Lori was to tell Chad, me and Alex put Tylee and JJ in a bunker somewhere, we sent them somewhere away to be safe. Y'all know I'm being facetious, but I'm trying to prove a point here. On February 3rd, we know that East Idaho News visits the storage unit where Lori abandoned several of her kids' items: bikes, a scooter, winter clothing, a photo album with pictures of JJ and Tylee, sports equipment, a backpack with JJ's initials, and a jersey with Kobe Ryan's name on it are left in the unit. There are also blankets showing photos of the children, one focused on JJ, with the other showing photos of Tylee, and we know this. I'm not here to beat a dead horse. What I'm saying is we see in the surveillance Chad helping Lori push in those scooters and help her with that stuff. What's going on? What is she telling him if he's got a diametrically opposed defense that he had no idea? What is she telling him? What is she saying? Chad, we're going to put some of the kids' stuff in here. They're off in a bunker somewhere. Give me a break, y'all. On February 20th, police in Kauai arrest Lori on a $5 million warrant out of Madison County. She's charged with 2 felony counts of desertion and non-support of dependent children. She's also charged with arrests and seizures, resisting or obstructing officers, criminal solicitation to commit a crime, and contempt of court, willful disobedience of court process or order. And her husband, that fat-ass Chin Chad, he knows what she's been arrested for. He was in Hawaii when she was being arrested. That would have been a really good time for him to seek an attorney to find out, hey, my wife Lori, my queen, she's been arrested and she's told me then. Now think. If he really had no idea and she gave him a crock of shit, he could have put it on the record. Lori told me that her and Alex took the kids somewhere for them to be safe. And I didn't know anything about this. And it would be, an attorney could say, yes, he did come to me when his wife Lori got arrested. But that's not what happened. On February 26th, 6 days later, Lori waives her extradition to Idaho after 6 days behind bars in Hawaii. The waiver comes after multiple attempts to reduce bail fails. Now, why would she want to stay in Hawaii? And why is it at the beginning of it all, Chad sitting out there in the audience? Doesn't he want this cleared up? Doesn't he want this, Lori, we need to go and tell him what, just go ahead, Lori. Tell them where the kids are because you told me they were safe. But no, what does he do? He leaves before she's even extradited back to go back to Idaho. And that would have been the time to go to Idaho and say, you know what? She's over there in Hawaii fighting extradition, and she told me this, this, and this. And I had no idea. I had no idea that there was a problem, that the kids were missing. She said they were safe. She didn't want the government or Kay or anyone to get a hold of them. But he doesn't do that. On February 26th, Idaho authorities extradite Lori from Hawaii to Rexburg on March 5th. And this is why I wanted to come all into what I brought up when I first did this part 1 and part 2, is that someone says, this person looks this way or that way. You can't convict somebody just by the way they look. Well, folks, we all saw her walk into the courtroom in Idaho when she was brought back from Hawaii. Was that a look of someone who was so secure and confident that she was really not in trouble and this would all be ironed out? And what about the look of Chad sitting out in the audience out there? Did he look like he was all confident? He looked like he shit himself. The bottom line is that you can see a lot with Lori's demeanor throughout all the times she's been on camera in these court proceedings that shows proof positive. If you took everything, the whole case, everything away, and all you did, say you knew nothing about the case, and you saw her walk in there like that, flippant, acting crazy, you didn't know she was being brought back because her children are missing, does that look like somebody who's not guilty? Does he look like someone who's not guilty? Why is he sitting in that first Idaho court hearing of Lori when she's brought back from Hawaii? Why isn't he off in another part of the building talking to prosecutors or talking to his own attorney saying, this is what she told me? The bottom line is they're guilty as hell. Hundreds wait in line hoping to catch a glimpse of the hearing where Magistrate Judge Farron Eddins reduced her bail to $1 million. She remained in jail, unable to post bond. Well, Chad had some money, didn't he? If she thought his wife, he was the stepfather of these children, right? And if he really believed that they were safe, they hadn't been murdered, then what the hell? Why ain't he posting her bond for her? Why isn't he doing that? On April the 9th, East Idaho News obtains a letter from the Idaho Attorney General stating Chad and Lori are under investigation for conspiracy, attempted murder, or murder by the Idaho Attorney General's office. And you can be sure that Chad knew that. Lori knew that. They could find out. At least Chad, he wasn't in jail yet. He could have known everything that was going on during all this time Lori was in jail. There's no doubt about it. When you come out with a statement, let's go beyond rumor and speculation. Why didn't he just come out with what he thought the truth was? Why didn't he come out and say, well, I didn't know Lori and Alex did this. I didn't know. I don't know where the kids are. This is terrible. The disconnect when he goes to marry a woman, knowing she has 2 children, he knew she had 2 children. The disconnect being 1 minute he knows that she has children, and the next minute he's married her November 5th of 2019, and he just has no explanation at all why his stepchildren are not in the picture. It's just as simple as that. Again, the way she looks, the way he looks, the bottom line is they're guilty as hell. Around 7 a.m. on June 9th, the Rexburg Police Department, FBI, and Fremont County Sheriff's Office serve a search warrant on Chad's home. Within hours, investigators uncover the children. And we know you can throw in there the phone call from Lori from jail to Chad. You can throw in Ray Hermosillo's testimony about how Chad was sitting out his truck, getting out, taking his hat off, rubbing his hand through his hair, getting back in the truck, looking directly out there before they uncovered those children's bodies, and how he left. And it's my opinion, he was leaving to go meet with an attorney. He should have been meeting with an attorney the moment that the FBI came out and said there was missing children. But the whole time, Chad Daybell kept his mouth shut, just as Lori kept hers shut. There is no diametrically different defense here. The bottom line is Chad Daybell, if he was ever going to turn this and throw Lori under the bus, or if he was truly innocent, either one, when she and him both knew those children's bodies were dug up out of his backyard, he should have immediately went to law enforcement, to his attorney or someone, and said, this is crazy. I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe this happened. Because we know good and dang well that John Pryor's trying to say that Chad didn't know those children were in the backyard. Well, where in the hell? Where in the hell did he think they were? Because he knew they existed. So, this goes back again to when you talk about case application and you talk about someone saying to you, well, just because they, look tired or they look this or that. And in this case, just because Lori looks flippant and she's wearing the damn Kool-Aid lipstick and she's lollipopping into the courtroom after coming back from Hawaii, and the way that Chad acted during his preliminary hearing. The fact that even in the last motion hearing for severance, there was a point that he was sitting there before the proceedings started. He's sitting there laughing about something him and John Pryor are joking about. This, folks, this tells you everything you need to know. Just because someone should be looked at innocent until proven guilty, when you look at body language, when you look at behaviors, when you look at the things that these two diabolical evil people did, The bottom line is that they're guilty as hell. And, of course we know that anyway. But what I'm trying to bring out in this, with the Micheal Monkey Vaughn case, this woman, she said what she said. She didn't have to speak. They've got it in the affidavit, although that affidavit is sealed at this point for investigative and safety concerns. It will be released eventually, but it's in the news article. She said that God told her. Well, why couldn't Chad give them anything at all? Why did he keep his mouth shut? Why did he tell Christopher Parrott that this is really about grandma and, being angry and all this and that? Anything that he could say other than the truth, and along with Lori, most importantly, their silence. They would have, they thought that remaining silent is going to help them. The bottom line is this woman in this case, in the Vaughn case, she opened her mouth. It's in the affidavit. She told police that God told her that Stacy did it. Then she says Stacy told her that he did it. And then she says some guy named Adrian did it. She opened her mouth, and Chad and Lori didn't open their mouth. They don't have to open their mouth. They look guilty. Their behaviors show they're guilty. Common sense says they're guilty. And that's really what it comes down to. Leave your comments. Tell me what you think. I love you all. And, I've got my theories. You've got yours. Put them in the comments and keep on looking.